Welcome, everybody, to FanStream Sports, powered by DSP Media. This is the Fighting Irish Daily Blitz, and I'm your host, Rob Fedoff, also known as RPT. You can find me on X at PFedoff. This is episode 126, but first things first, head over to our website at fanstreamsports.com for all additional podcast information. If you have an Apple device or an Android device, please feel free to download the FanStream Sports app and then head over to our Facebook page. Like that page, additional content out there as well. Please feel free to share that with your friends and family. This podcast will be the men's and women's hoops roundup as we end 2023 and look to 2024. When I initially planned this podcast, I thought we'd be talking about a men's loss to Virginia and a women's win against Syracuse. We flipped that. Notre Dame shocks Virginia this past Saturday, and the women lost to Syracuse at Syracuse. Let's get to the men's game first against Virginia. Notre Dame had just come off a barely beating Marist, and prior to that, they had that unacceptable loss against the Citadel. However, Notre Dame dominates Virginia at home 76-54. At one time, Notre Dame led by as much as 28 points, and this is a big win for Notre Dame. I know this is going to be a rebuilding year, and I still predict a losing season this year. However, in the past, Notre Dame would struggle against Virginia. Even when Notre Dame was a very good men's basketball team, even those Elite Eight teams, they would typically lose to Virginia. That swarming defense that they had, it was always just a very bad matchup. And I can't say enough, this was a great win for the program. Notre Dame shot 51% from the field, three-point range. They were 48%, free throws 77%, assists 14-10 over Virginia. What else? Rebounds, we out-rebounded them 40-27. We did have 14 turnovers. And then just some individual stats here for this game. Very well-rounded game. Kebajai, 10 points. Kerry Booth off the bench looked great, 17 points, a true freshman. His dad is Calvin Booth, who played for Penn State and in the NBA. I believe he's the general manager for the Denver Nuggets right now. Marcus Burton, the great freshman, 15 points. And then J.R. Kaznesny, 17. To me, the two key players as we continue throughout this season is Marcus Burton and J.R. Kaznesny, and then we just got to get some more players involved. But I said this is a total rebuild this year. They were, to me, pretty much where they should be, maybe a little bit ahead of the game defensively, except for that Citadel game. And they just been way behind offensively. But with this game, they look great offensively because the defense has always been there. But if they can keep some more consistent offensive play in their games as we near 2024. Watch out for this team. I'm not saying NCAA tournament appearance. There's no way that's going to happen. But maybe they shock us and get close to that 500 record and maybe an NIT performance. But the offense is the key. They had to have that consistent offense like they had against Virginia. That wasn't even a consistent offense. That was just a out-of-this-world offense. If they can just be, 60 or 70% of that, this team is going to be a tough out for every team as we begin ACC play in 2024. So now the women, they were on a 9-game winning streak. They were going at Syracuse. Syracuse came in at, let's see here, as I look at my notes, I believe they came in at 10-1. Let's see here. Bear with me 1 second. Yes, Syracuse came in 10-1, but they were not ranked. However, it was at Syracuse. They have a great player. Her name is Deja Fair, who had a great game yesterday. But still, even though we had 4 players out, and that is, I will say that as we begin ACC play in 2024, we cannot continue to have 4 players out. It's not sustainable. However, despite Syracuse being 10-1, we are still a better team than Syracuse. We still should have won this game despite having 4 players out. Muffet McGraw only had 6 players in 2018 for the most part. However, that team had more ACL injuries than losses, and they won a national title. This team obviously is not as talented, especially in the inside. We do not have a Jessica Shepard right now, and it showed yesterday. The inside game was absolutely pathetic. But for all the progress that our inside game has had these past games up until the Syracuse game with Kylie Watson and Nat Marshall, they were absolutely pathetic yesterday, especially Kylie Watson. And they say you shouldn't criticize these young student athletes. They're young adults to me, and they got to take this criticism because they need some constructive criticism right now. all that progress they had, especially Kylie Watson. She was absolutely pathetic yesterday. Terrible. We were making runs left and right. We were absolutely, or how can I say, we were up. We were down 4 at half. We make a run. We're up 4. And I believe we're about ready to get a layup. And it would have been I don't want to say an acrobatic shot, but Nat Marshall just needed to get her footing a little bit better. Still, she's 6'5". She still should hit a layup. And then she's laughing afterwards. And Coach Ivy's laughing afterwards too. I'm sorry. You shouldn't be laughing after missing a bunny shot like that. You can't miss these bunny layups. And we missed plenty of layups yesterday. Too many turnovers inside yesterday. It's one thing for the guards are going to have more turnovers because they handle the ball more. But for Kylie Watson to have 6 turnovers, unacceptable. So let's just get into the stats really quick here, because this game, despite the injuries, should not have happened. So we lost 86-81 to Syracuse yesterday. We were ranked 13th at the time. The one good thing about yesterday's game, we were 100% from the free throw line, 10 out of 10. That was a big criticism of me last year. I think they were around 70%, but it seemed to be during the so-called critical moments of the games, we would be missing free throws. But that is one good positive of this game, was 100% right there. We were outboarded 45-33. Here's the big one right here. Syracuse had 28 turnovers. You would think if the opposing team had that many turnovers, this is a 10 to 20 point win. This is a Muffet McGraw team in 2017, 2018, even before that. This is a sub-tier opponent, and we're beating them by at least 15 to 20 points, especially if they turn the ball over 28 times. How many turnovers did we have? We had 24. And last year we averaged around 16 to 17. It's just unacceptable. As I said before, if you look at, okay, here we go. Turnovers yesterday. Kylie Watson had 6. You can't have that. Maddie Westbeld had a solid game, but 4 turnovers. Hannah Hidalgo, she handles the ball a lot more. She had 4. Anna DeWolf, 3. But I will say about Anna DeWolf, I was critical of her early in the season, transfer from Fordham, graduate transfer, that is. I thought at best she's just a set shooter, for a 3-point set shooter. She cannot create her own shot. Can't really do much off the dribble. However, she's shocking me right now. She's playing a lot better than she has. Not just a 3-point shooter. She played a solid game yesterday. And keep proving me wrong, Anna, right now, because you're doing a great job compared to what I thought you would do throughout this young season so far. KK Bransford was pretty much non-existent, and she was a 5-star. She's been a disappointment to me, especially this season right now, since she has a year under her belt. Only 6 points. Nat Marshall, for all the improvement she's had, as I said earlier, her and Kylie Watson, only 6 points. Missing layups left and right, laughing about them. Coach Ivy laughing about them. I'm sorry, Coach, but you should be getting in her ear and chewing her ass out for laughing, for missing a layup. But if she makes that layup, we're up 6. I think Syracuse starts to press a little bit more. I don't think they're going to fold 100%, but we were favored by 10 points, but I think we probably win by 10 to 12 if we continue to stop turning the ball over, hitting layups. Just a horrible inside game yesterday. I can't say that enough. What else here? That's about it. Let's just go into the both for the men's and women's, the 2024 scheduled for the next couple of games. And that's how I'll be doing these podcasts going forward through 2024. I'll take about 3 to 4 games, give a brief summary on each for my podcast, because I cannot do a podcast on each game. That's just not feasible. And this will probably work out better anyway. But if we look to this will be the men right here. They're in action at home again. They have a lot of home games right away in ACC play. Just had a home game against Virginia. So this Wednesday against NC State, they're currently 9-3, and then home next Saturday against Duke, who's 9-3. So we'll see what happens there, but maybe this Virginia game propels them to a couple more upset wins, because what I saw Saturday was sweet. We haven't seen that from a Notre Dame team in a while. And I said before, the defense progress was there already. If you get this offense humming too, we shall see what happens. We shall see. For the women, let's see here. They're like, the men are going to be staying home for early 2024. The women are going to be on the road. Just got back from Syracuse yesterday. They're on the road against Pitt this Thursday, who comes in at 6-8. So that should be a win. And then home this coming Sunday against North Carolina, who's 9-4. Hopefully Coach Ivey works out some of those tweaks. So our girls that are 6'4", 6'5" can hit some layups. They call them the bunny shots. And stop turning the ball over, because I don't care that there was 4 girls out still. That's a game you should have won. A Muffet McGraw team would have won probably by 15 to 20 points, maybe less. But she did win a national title with only 6 players as well. So great win for the men. Disappointing loss for the women as we head into 2024. Hopefully more wins than losses. Obviously, there's more optimism for the women's team as the men rebuild this year. But the women, that was a pretty disappointing loss yesterday. I knew it would be kind of a struggle on the road, but you still got to beat a Syracuse team like that. You have no business losing to a team like that. So thank you so much for joining me for episode 126. And as always, go Irish.